Imagine sitting quietly in a small, hidden room, trying not to make a sound. Outside, people walk by, unaware that anyone is upstairs. You can't go outside, you can't run, laugh loudly, or even open a window too wide. But inside, you keep writing in your diary, writing about your hopes, your fears, and your dreams for a better world. This is the life of Anne Frank, one of the most well-known young writers in history. Anne Frank was a real girl who lived during a very hard time. She was born on June 12, 1929, in Frankfurt, Germany, to a Jewish family. Her father's name was Otto, her mother was Edith, and she had an older sister named Margot. Anne was cheerful, full of energy, and loved to write stories and play with her friends. But when Anne was still a little girl, the world began to change in dangerous ways. In Germany, a man named Adolf Hitler and his group, the Nazis, took control of the government. They believed in hateful ideas and blamed Jewish people for many of the country's problems. They made unfair laws and began treating Jewish families very badly. To stay safe, Anne's family moved to Amsterdam, Netherlands, in 1934. For a while, things were better. Anne went to school, made new friends, and lived a normal life. But in 1940, the Nazis invaded the Netherlands too. Slowly, new rules were made. Jewish children had to leave their schools. Families had to wear yellow stars on their clothes. They were not allowed to go to parks, stores, or even ride bikes. Life became more and more difficult. Then in 1942, when Anne was just 13 years old, something terrifying happened. Her older sister Margot received a letter saying she had to report to a Nazi work camp. Her family knew it was time to hide. With help from trusted friends, the Frank family moved into a secret apartment hidden behind a bookcase in Anne's father's office building. They called it the secret annex. Anne, her parents Margot, and 4 other people lived in the small, hidden space. They could not go outside, and they had to stay very quiet during the day, so the workers downstairs wouldn't hear them. Life was lonely, frightening, and often boring, but Anne found a way to stay hopeful. She wrote in her diary. Her diary was a gift she had received on her 13th birthday. She named it Kitty and wrote in it almost every day. She shared her thoughts, her feelings, and what life was like in hiding. She wrote about being scared, about the arguments in the small space, and about missing the outside world. But she also wrote about her dreams. She wanted to be a writer or a journalist one day. Her words were full of heart and imagination. Anne's diary showed that even in a dark time, a young girl could find hope. She once wrote, "In spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart." In her journal, Anne wrote about everyday life in hiding. She described how the 8 people in the secret annex had to share small rooms and live very quietly during the day. They couldn't flush the toilet, walk loudly, or talk above a whisper while people worked in the building below. Anne wrote about the food they ate, the boredom they felt, and how hard it was to live in such a small space without going outside. She also wrote about her feelings, her fears, her hopes, and her dreams. She even wrote about her disagreements with her mother and her growing friendship with Peter, the teenage boy who was also hiding there. Anne's diary was more than just a place to tell what happened each day. It was where she shared her deepest thoughts. She often wrote about wanting to be free and her dream of becoming a famous writer. She hoped that someday her words would matter. She also wrote about the war and wondered why people treated others so cruelly. Through it all, Anne stayed hopeful. Her diary became her best friend, and it helped her stay strong even in the hardest moments. Her words continue to touch the hearts of people around the world. The Frank family stayed hidden for over 2 years, but sadly, in August 1944, someone betrayed them. The Nazis found the secret annex and arrested everyone inside. Anne and her sister were sent to a concentration camp called Bergen-Belsen. Life there was very hard. Food was scarce, and many people became sick. Anne and Margot both became ill and died in early 1945, just weeks before the camp was freed. Anne was only 15 years old when she died. Her story might have ended there, but something special happened. Her father, Otto Frank, survived the war. After the war ended, he returned to Amsterdam and found Anne's diary. One of the family's helpers had saved it. Otto read Anne's words and knew he had to share them with the world. In 1947, Anne's diary was published as a book. Today it's known as the Diary of Anne Frank, or the Diary of a Young Girl. It has been translated into more than 70 languages and read by millions of people all over the world. People visit the Anne Frank house in Amsterdam, where the secret annex is still standing. They walk through the hidden rooms and see the tiny space where Anne lived and wrote. Many people leave messages thanking her for her courage and her words. Anne Frank's story helps people learn about the dangers of hate, the sadness of war, and the importance of standing up for what is right. It also reminds us that even in the darkest times, one voice, one young girl's words can shine a light of hope. Her life was short, but her words live on. Anne teaches us to care about others, to be brave, and to believe in goodness. She reminds us that everyone has a story that matters,